A lot of individuals out there who doesn't believe on the Holy Scriptures. They say that they're outdated, they don't make sense, they plagiarize Kemet and etc. But I'm here to set the record straight on how to actually use the Bible. Before I go there, I have a book called The Destiny of Souls by Dr. Michael Newton. Yes, Dr. Michael Newton. He actually works with spiritual hypnotherapy, in which he hypnotized his patients, and they actually explained to him what the journey of their souls were after death, what the soul process is, and etc. after death. This is not to be said it is made up. This is actually people, actual case studies. Research it yourself, in which these individuals was hypnotized and they walked him through the soul journey before being incarnated on earth. This is page 245, case 44. Chinera was one of the most advanced clients I have ever had. No one has taken me closer to the presence than this soul. Chinera trained in another dimension before coming to Earth several thousand years ago. Once again, this is not fan-made fan fiction. This is actual clients who was hypnotized and explained their soul journey before incarnated on Earth. Let's read a little bit between the interaction between doctor and patients while the patient was under a hypnotherapy. Doctor, when your work as a personal guide is completed, do you expect to be assigned to the Council of Elders? Subject, no, this won't happen yet. I must become a master teacher, working with younger teachers, helping them get in touch with their students on many levels. Doctor, how do you know this? Subject, because I am still in training here, incarnating, learning more about Earth's biological life forms. Doctor, Chinera, it is my belief we are all together today to help each other understand certain things. Let's begin this part of our discussion by my asking you about your relationship with the elders on your council. Subject, I have 12 members on my council right now. After my last life, the four in the center of the table were the ones who questioned me about becoming more centered on Earth. I still have some blocks which need adjustment. The four on the right hand side are from my original dimension. They are here to assist in the better utilization of my energy I brought with me into Earth's universe. The doctor is interviewing this patient that's going under hypnotherapy, and the patient is explaining she came from another universe. I don't know if she or he, Chinera sounds like a woman, but came from another universe to incarnate on Earth to bring more experience to Earth and etc. Via energy and etc. That's not what the Bible teaches. So what's going on between people and search near-death experiences? You'll see what they're seeing is not what the Bible is explaining per se. So what's going on? So we must ask ourselves, is the Bible wrong? Is the Bible made up? Is the Bible lying to us? No. Check this author out right here. Philo. First century. 20 BC to like 50 AD. First century Jew explaining the Bible. Notice here, he has something called allegorical interpretation, book 1, 2, and etc., where he's explaining how the words of the Bible dealing with Torah and etc. have more of an allegorical sense to it than a hyper literal sense. Allegories, stories, and etc. that can be interpreted to have a hidden meaning. The Bible have parables also. You know, a parable, simple story used to illustrate a moral or spiritual lesson. Let me show you how people misuse the Bible, and then later on the generations after them come and say the Bible is fake. Let's show you how they misuse the Bible in the correct way. Remember, they talk about Adam and Eve, the first quote-unquote couple on planet Earth. Let's look a little bit at the story. Genesis 1:26. Then God said, let us make man in our image, according to our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the heaven, over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that moves on the earth. So God made man. In the image of God, he made him. Male and female, he made them. That's in Genesis 1. But in Genesis 2, it says, then God formed man of the dust from the ground and breathed in his face the breath of life. and man became a living soul. So was man created after the image of God, or was man created after dust? Because dust is not the image of God. Philo tries to explain what's actually going on in the Bible and how you're supposed to read it. Allegorical Interpretations 1, section 12, line 31. The races of man are twofold, for one is the heavenly man, and the other is the earthly man. Now, the heavenly man, as being born in the image of God, has no participation in anything corruptible or earth-like essence, but the earthly man is made of loose material. Oh, so you mean to tell me that there's two Adams, there's two men in the Bible? Did Philo make that up? Was he tripping? Does he not know what he's talking about? Well, let's go to Paul's and see what Paul say. Let's go to Paul's epistle. 1 Corinthians 15, starting at verse 45. And so it is written, the first man, Adam, became a living being. The last Adam became a life-giving spirit. So Paul is saying it was written about two Adams? Continue. Verse 46, however, the spiritual is not first, but the natural, and afterwards the spiritual. The first man was of the earth, made of the dust. The second man is the Lord from heaven. As was the man of dust, so also are those who are made of dust. And as the heavenly man, so also are those who are heavenly. And as we have borne the image of the man of dust, we shall also bear the image of the heavenly man. So Paul is agreeing with Philo. Well, let's continue. Colossians 1:13. He had delivered us from the power of darkness and conveyed unto us the kingdom of his Son, of the Son of his love, in whom we have redemption through his blood, the forgiveness of sin. He is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of all creation. Colossians 3:10. And how put on the new man, who is renewed in knowledge according to the image of him who created him. Ephesians 4:22. That you put off concerning your former conduct the old man which grows corrupt according to the deceitful lust, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind, and that you put on the new man, which was created according to God in true righteousness and holiness. Let's look at Philo's Allegorical Interpretation, Book 2, Section 18, line 74. And pleasure has been represented under the form of the serpent. For this reason, as the motion of the serpent is full of many windings and varied, so also is the motion of pleasure. So he's saying the serpent in Genesis is an allegory for pleasure. Let's look at James 1:12. Blessed is the man who endures temptation. That could be considered pleasure. For when he has been approved, he will receive the crown of life, which the Lord has promised to those who love him. Let no one say when he is tempted, I am tempted by God. For God cannot be tempted by evil, nor does he himself tempt anyone. But each one is tempted when he is drawn away by his own desires and enticed. And when desires had conceived, it gives birth to sin. And sin, when it is full grown, brings forth death. That's what happened in the story in the Garden of Eden. She was tempted by her own desires. But the Genesis said it was a serpent. It's temptation, it's lust. Philo goes on to talk about, in Genesis, it's found in Allegorical Interpretation, Book 1, about the death that Adam received. He said, what are we to say then? Surely death is of two kinds, one being the death of the man, and the other, the peculiar death of the soul. Now, the death of the man is the separation of the soul from the body, but the death of the soul is the destruction of virtue and admission of vice. And you go to Revelation 20:14, then death and Hades was cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. There's more than one death. Philo is trying to explain this. It goes on in his Allegorical Interpretation, Book 1, is therefore very natural that Adam, that is to say the mind, he says in Allegorical Interpretation, Book 1, but the tree of life is that the most general virtues by which some people call goodness. What am I trying to say? There's definitely historical information found in the Bible, but the Bible itself is written in a format in which you're supposed to receive and derive spiritual principles from. Those spiritual principles allow you to live a great life on earth. So once you cross over, according to Michael Newton, you have a great rapport with your counsel, and your mission continues, and you continue to evolve, go another place, or you come back here and work on more things. The point is, we got to use the Bible correctly. We can use the historical things, but we also got to use it for the true matter, increasing the inward man. Thank you.